Okay, I am going to show you all how easily this pottery cleans up. I've had these dishes that, just to show you, it's not coming up. So this one had pork ribs in it, and I've let it sit for a week. This one had something in it, and I've also let it sit for a week. I can't remember what it was, but I want you to see how easy this is. So this is, it's not hot, it's not cold, so just put on neutral water, and you can even put warm, it won't make a difference. First thing you're going to do is let the water float in the pottery for a second. We're going to fill that up. We'll put that there. While that's sitting for a second, we're going to fill up the other one. Now I have two things. I have just a regular sponge. This is one of those walnut ones where they break down really easily, but they won't scratch your stuff. This one would probably scratch it, so I'm only going to use this if I need to on a rough spot. But honestly, to begin with, I'm not going to use anything. I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to show you how it sort of comes up. You can already see some of the stuff lifting. Now, when I put this water in here, you see this here? I'm going to take my finger, and I'm going to rub along that edge. You see how that lifts up? And dump that out. And so right now, all along the outside, I don't even need to scrub it. You use your fingers. Now, look at the bottom. See how it's already beginning to lift up? Now this one was really good. And if I focus the water on one spot, you'll see here how it's beginning to lift. Again, don't be afraid. Get in with your hands. And I wouldn't normally do this with just my hands, but I'm trying to make a point here. All right, add a little bit more water and let that sit. Let's move over to this one. Look at that one. So again, we're going to go with our fingers just to show you how easily it picks up. See around the edges where we've got all this? Take your finger, or I'll take my finger, and just rub it back and forth, and it begins to pick up. Now, obviously I don't wash my dishes with my hands, so I'm going to take my little sponge, and then off. I've got a little bit of water still in here. No soap, just, there might be a little residual soap in the sponge, but we're going to go right along the edge. Give it a cursory once over. Now, as you saw, I have not stopped the video. It has not been sitting here soaking. All it's had is water in it from the time you saw me put water in it. I do sometimes worry, though, that they're a little bit slippery. Now, these parts here that are a little bit thicker, put a little bit more soap in there, or water. Now I'm going to put a little bit of soap, okay? And we're going to let that sit. And we're going to move back to the other one. Now remember, the other one, we still have not put soap in it. I'm going to take the sponge, and just give it a quick once over. While I make a mess of my sink and my counter. The thicker spots. This one was much worse than the other, but seems to be coming up much easier. Okay. Now, I don't normally make meals that end up in this kind of a mess, which is why I saved these particular dishes. Right. Now, we're going to let that sit. Put a little bit of soap. You've got just a few spots left in it that are being a little bit stubborn. Oops, I'm going to take this over here for when I'm ready to dry them. We're going to move back to this one. We're going to put soap now on my sponge. And I'm going to get those last corners. All around the edge. Now the only thing with pottery that you have to be careful with when you're washing oh look, I'm making a mess again, is it can get slippery, especially when you introduce soap. It can get slippery. So you do have to be careful that you don't drop them. Make sure you've got a good hand on them. Anyway. That looks really, really good. Voila, done. Look at that. No overnight soaking, no ridiculous scrubby things. I didn't have to even bust out the real heavy duty scrubber. So now we're gonna go back to this one, which again has been sitting the same amount of time as the other. Go back over the little pieces. This one spot is a little bit stubborn. Now this one I might actually bust out the other. So let me show you really quick what we got. You saw the bottom of this 3 minutes ago. So this is all that's left. I got a little spot here, which I bet I could get with my finger. And then this one here. This one's a stubborn one. So I'm gonna take this, which is actually made in Poland as well, and just lightly go over it. You don't have to be aggressive, and that's it. I'm going to go back over it with soap, go around the edges, get underneath, make sure the outside is clean. And I think we are done. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. You can literally cook anything again. I mean, these were a game changer. There was a time when I wouldn't cook lasagna, scalloped potatoes, anything like that, because that's what you get. And in a metal pan and a glass pan, forget it. You're gonna be scraping, you're gonna be scrubbing, you're gonna be soaking, and you're gonna repeat that cycle day after day until the thing sits in the sink for 3 days, and then finally it's done, and you vow never to do it.